Okay. With any luck, this is working. Let's test that. Coffee. All right. Let's see. All right. Internet is a little slow for me, but there we go. To make sure audio is working. Test, test, test. Don't hear it, which means it's not working. Test. Microphone's working there. Oh. Okay, I think we're working. Come on, microphone. Oh, yep. Ooh, noisy. Okay, I've got it. We're good. We're good. Okay, well, for everybody who's here, I thought I'd tell you guys about what is coming up. I know it's a little bit been a little bit quiet on the home front here. Not on purpose. Just busy as usual. So today I'm working on a. I've gone and taped that on, but I actually need this. So now I gotta undo it. Anyhow, working on a project for a competition for a local company that's not very far away from here. They do a lot of horsey stuff, and they sent out an email, probably to a bunch of people. And oh, there's Jen. Yo, you're in Jammers. You look toasty. How to do a live stream? You want to stay out of field? You look cute though. Who cares? You look adorable.
Are you already on live stream?
Yeah. You look totes adorable. With your big fluffy hat. Where'd you get a fluffy hat like that from?
The kids.
Do you want to pull up a chair? Look, what do you think?
With the chair, I'll be in the scene.
Yeah. Everybody loves adorableness. It's good. What do you think of this?
It's good.
It's not bad, right?
No?
I don't know all the I know it's a mess in here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do that.
You were the parental supervisor.
I can't help it. You can't control a 9-year-old.
Yes, you can.
Right. So what do you think though? Is that good?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
How do we
I know, I thought you'd have more space on the frame to make his name. Like I was thinking wider, bolder. But it doesn't have to be. I mean, you could always attach a separate little piece, like a nameplate.
looks like that? Yeah. That was quick.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking.
I don't think nobody really cares about what we're doing anyways.
If you could glue two pieces down here, then you could have a little tiny piece that you put a name onto.
How are we going to do a nameplate?
Well, I don't know.
All right, well, I haven't told everybody what we're doing anyways. So that's probably, so it's going to make it out of this stuff. Anyways, so we've got a competition coming up for a local company that asked my stable horse training and probably a bunch of other companies out there to come and check out or
Great.
decorate
Christmas trees.
a Christmas tree. Um,
Like
and I'm not the biggest fan of this kind of stuff, but
I am.
Jen is, and so I said, okay. So we thought about doing. Now I don't know if Alice is going to come online here, but a while back we had these made, which are pretty cool.
I know.
And Maria's here. Hello, Maria. We're making homemade frames. So these little ornaments here were handmade by Alice, one of our viewers here. And so I think that's Luke.
Yeah.
That's Zeus. His beads or hanger
But
came
that's
off.
okay.
They're on the table inside. This I believe is Gracie because of the eyelashes. Oh, I don't know. They both got eyelashes. One of these is Gracie. Who's got the more white and brown tail?
Macaroni has a lighter tail.
Well, one of these is, which one's bigger? They're the same size. Alice. We need Alice. Well, anyways, I think probably this one's Gracie. Hey, you think this one's
darker
Gracie?
tail. And macaroni's lighter. Like even look at our pictures, right? See, Gracie's darker than macaroni.
Well, one of these is Gracie's.
Yeah.
One of them's Roni.
But anyway.
We'll figure it out later. And of
Yeah.
course, you can't miss Lena.
Yeah. So my idea was to hang it on the tree. Right?
So we're gonna make a horse themed tree.
And then a
sort of.
matching picture.
So we have our handmade, with a handmade frame. I don't know about a nameplate. Nameplate seems like a lot of work. How do you want to make
Well, then
nameplates?
I thought,
This one fell off too.
in my head, I thought this would be wider in my design.
And then you
And
just
then you
draw
would
on it?
burn in. I thought, I didn't know how hard burning was. Is that hard? If not,
I had an idea for
then
burning.
just Sharpie.
I had an idea
Sharpie it.
for burning. Hang on.
No, and then, but you
So
have more space.
today's we can probably, isn't it amazing? I know exactly where to go for anything in this place.
Like a broom?
Okay. What?
Nothing. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Did you say like a broom?
Yeah, 'cause I'm covered in.
That's a different problem.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Totally different problem.
I like the hoodie has this line across the center.
It's got a pocket on this side too, a little
Oh,
zipper
wow.
pocket. But it has a hole in it, so I'm not really sure what its purpose is.
What? It has a hole in it.
Inside.
Well, I don't think that's a purpose.
It's probably so you can put some wires through. Okay, we need power here. All right, everybody, whoever is paying attention so far, just Maria,
Just Maria.
which is lovely. Only mean just as in there's one, not that it's just Maria. Okay, just a small space problem in here. I don't have a big enough place to store all my junk. Okay, so let's plug this in here. You do? No, you don't. You look like a cold person. Who?
David.
Okay. So this is a, I use this for something.
It wasn't clean probably.
Smells rubbery. Okay. Let's see. All right. So this is where I get a little lost on. Maybe we can use, I don't want to use these, but oh well. Okay, we need, okay, travel around. Okay, so everybody who's come here.
Oh, the faces must be different. Oh, yeah. No, I don't know. That doesn't help.
Oh, that's Roni.
Well, but she kind of has that too.
Yeah, but his is bigger.
Okay. then I was right. That's macaroni's tail. Oh yeah.
Okay, so everybody who just got here,
Laughing at.
we've got Alice's ornaments and my design for a frame for some pictures. You guys have seen these. Well, you came up with the idea of a frame.
Oh,
don't
no,
know.
I get it.
Frame
Yeah.
design is mine at the moment. But we've got to decorate a tree for a contest. So we've got some pictures. This is Roni. There's Gracie, who needed a touch up. Because when we first got her, and she had some skin problems, but I'm okay with Photoshop, so cleaned all that up. There's Lena. There's Luke. And this little dude here is Zeus. So there's Zeus.
Yeah, you printed the wrong picture.
I did not print the wrong picture. This is the perfect picture.
No, you were supposed to do the one that you just took recently, that on the path at Alco.
Oh, I printed the wrong
Remember? You
picture.
printed the wrong picture.
This is the perfect picture.
It's fine.
This
It's
is
not
the,
perfect.
this picture is amazing. Look at how happy that dog looks. That's a happy dog.
I guess it's
It
good
goes
too,
with
at
our
least
happy horse.
There's a couple that are horizontal and a couple that are vertical. So maybe that's a good thing. Because Lena and him are vertical.
Mm-hmm.
What? No?
Yeah, yeah, they're vertical, all right. Okay. So then burning, right, burning. So we need to do a burn test. Unfortunately, this thing's got a whole bunch of plastic on it. Okay, so this is a soldering iron. It's not really meant for what I'm doing, but.
People are saying happy birthday.
What? Well, thank you. Okay, so here's some wood. I can't believe.
Ooh.
I don't know if I can do this. Should I just write it out first? Because this seems like a lot of work.
Really?
Maybe you should do this.
Okay.
Macaroni.
You call it Mac.
No, I can't see. It's in pencil. I don't think this is going to be a great idea.
No.
Why isn't it working? How come it can't burn? Burn! Burn wood. Oh, that's working. But it just looks like pencil.
Yeah. Hopefully it's off. We might just have to get a Sharpie. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything incredible.
Can you stop slurping that thing?
No, sorry. I'm not slurping. Sucking. Shush you.
The whole internet says no slurping
Nobody
candies.
says it. Just you.
No slurp. I don't know.
No, that looks terrible.
Well, I'm not very good at it as it is, but okay.
No, it's not a criticism of you.
Forget that idea.
It looks
tried.
like pencil.
So,
That's the thing I was thinking of, actually.
what do you mean that's the thing you were thinking about?
I was thinking of you using that to burn it in.
Oh.
Oh well.
Okay, so that's today's project. I don't know if anybody wanted to hang out with us
There's a
and
bunch of people now.
stuff. Busy day. Yes, thank you for the birthday wishes. Appreciate that. Today's been, I don't know, pretty average overall. Nope, had a great breakfast. Breakfast was so good. Lunch was great too. Dinner not so good, but lunch and breakfast was just, man, to die for. If anybody else could have the lunch and breakfast that I had,
You're such a dork.
you wouldn't know what to do with yourself. Eat like a king.
What are
Okay.
you doing?
Well, I got to take it out because I got to trace this out now.
Oh, I see.
I don't know why I taped it in.
Yeah. Not breakfast in bed. No. None of us actually are a fan of that for whatever reason.
I'm not really a fan of it. It's
No.
true.
So
Okay.
he has a favorite restaurant, so he went to go to his
Well, I
favorite
have an
one.
okay restaurant.
Well, for breakfast it is.
So this is good enough. We can just write it up here or something in little
Yeah,
letters,
I mean,
or you want it bigger?
ideally it would be bigger. Yep. Because then you could use big, bold letters.
Do you want just the top or the bottom to be bigger,
No, that would look weird.
or bigger all around?
Yeah. If you can.
Mm-hmm.
If it's too hard, don't worry about it.
Of
Okay.
course. So the process is simple.
For those just tuning in, because we're not quite sure what we're doing.
Nobody knows what we're doing?
So Alice made us these beautiful ornaments. And Graham was invited to decorate a Christmas tree on behalf of Stable Horse Training. And so my idea was to hang these and then put up a picture so everybody knew who they actually were in real life. And that's what we're going to decorate the tree with.
I wonder if we should move the camera.
Maybe.
Because I look weird compared to you. It's a wide angle lens.
You look weird.
Yeah, it looks like extra big. Okay, you guys can see a different view of this shop. I'll raise you up a bit.
We'll have to make sure we
So,
show you guys what the finished tree looks. Oh, now you can see my pajamas. I'm not like a newscaster. You know how underneath the table they
Yeah,
say
yeah,
they
yeah.
wear.
Okay, there we go.
Is that better?
Something like that.
Hi, Kimberly. Yeah, the angle was a bit odd.
Nobody's asked David.
Apparently your expertise is not required.
Not required. I already said it was weird. No need to back it up.
Crafty
Okay.
101. Yeah, it's something.
Yeah, we are sort of. I did have to buy my own sweatshirt though,
Would you honestly?
but I got a new fireplace.
And
So that's
it's
nice.
just about Christmas.
So
not
how
many
much
people would
bigger?
recommend right before Christmas going out and shopping for a bunch of stuff.
So be it, dude.
No, we were supposed to buy it for you, but you went and bought it for yourself too fast.
That's not how it works.
Yeah. And you got lovely poop out.
That sounds weird. You better explain it online here.
He got a pair of pajamas covered in what is an emoji poop, basically, and toilet paper. That's his daughter. She thought it was funny.
It's kind of funny.
It is funny. Thanks, Dee Dee. It's actually my daughter's. I stole it out of the closet. I don't know where my toque was, and I was too lazy to dig out for it. So it's her hat.
Okay, so I'll make us. I don't know what measurements these are in. I guess 1/8 of inches. So 3/8 of an inch bigger on each end. 6/8, 3/4 of an inch bigger overall. That. So that is there.
Luke is furry in that one.
So yeah, I don't know how interesting this really would be for anybody watching, but the idea is that we need everybody to come all the way to Maple Ridge and go and vote so
Is it a
that
voting deal?
we win.
Oh, I thought they had a panel.
I think it's just whoever votes that shows up, isn't it?
Yeah, I have no idea, but that's good to know. Because if so, then for sure these many people are voting.
Yeah, so everybody here on the internet, just get yourself a plane ticket. Come on down and help us win.
They have horses at this place.
Yeah, supposedly there are horses. I went there. It's beautiful, actually. It's a really cool place. Need that.
All right.
It's a really neat place. It's called Timberline Ranch. So anybody who's, if you're at your computer or something like that, look up Timberline Ranch. They've got 1, 2, 3 to there. 1, 2, 3 to there. All right. Yeah, okay. So 3/8 of an inch out. Anyway, so Timberline Ranch is train of thought is gone while I'm concentrating. Pretty neat place. They've got all kinds of things going on for kids. or team building and stuff. I think they also do that stuff as well there. But they've got a whole village. If you look online, you'll probably be able to see it. But they've got a whole village there. It's an empty village, it's a fake village, but I'm sure it gets pretty lively in the summer. I've never been there. This is my first time that I actually went there, and I was just blown away. I was going to take some video, but I'm going to have to take video coming up when we go to. Is that right? That's not right. This side looks so much bigger. Why is this so much bigger? How did that work?
Good specs for ornaments. Could you make a see a horsehair? Well, had we not left it to the last minute, it would have been possible. But this is all taking place on Tuesday evening, so nope. But that's a really cool idea, actually.
See, that's
if we do well, maybe we'll get invited back next year, and we can up our up the ante on what we actually decorate the tree with.
Yeah, I mean, this time was just sort of off the cuff. It's sort of a neat.
Ada says I need a mic.
Ida.
I always say it wrong. Sorry.
Okay, let's try not to
I worked what?
hit the mic.
Okay.
What we can do. No, that's not it. I gotta go to the other one. And face that upwards like that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a communal microphone. There. Okay, let's see if that's any better.
Okay.
So yeah, the place itself is just really neat. So I'm gonna definitely get some video. This is just doing a live video for funsies. Really.
See how we use the same word?
That's because you copied me.
What? I thought it was such a cute thing that we're in sync, and now you made it all terrible that I copied you.
Well, it can be cute that you copied me.
No, it's not.
Let's see, that's right.
Yay, they can hear me. I don't know, that's a good. What the? Is that looking right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I need to go to here. Is where I actually need to go. So what I was thinking. So yeah, so the competition is coming up.
Tuesday night we decorate.
Well, Tuesday we decorate, and then it's open to the public for a month, I think. And then we got to go back and tear it all down. But it's not going to be. I mean, we're not going to go nuts about it, but it should be interesting. There'll be a bunch of other trees there, a bunch of other companies. I don't know if they invite families as well, just normal people instead of just companies. But
I didn't see any last year.
Oh no,
just companies.
So the idea is that it provides. I mean, the way they're selling it, because you got to pay a fee you got to register, and then you pay a tree fee if you want to borrow a tree or bring your own, and it's no cost. But if you want to rent one of their trees, it's $35 or something.
Yeah,
it's $35, and registration was $50. So I said to them, "Well, I'll tell you what, if you can, cut some costs somewhere, I'll make a video a little bit, and that'd be cool."
Sure.
Did teamwork there. So they said, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So that's what I'm going to do.
What is this?
Oh, it's a door skin.
A what?
Door skin.
A door skin. Oh.
Like that.
What? Which door was it from?
It's not from any door.
Oh. You just found it here?
I can sand it out. Did I find it? No, I bought it a long time ago. I used it for something.
Cool.
It's a mahogany door skin, and you can use this stuff for all kinds of things.
Yeah, it's great. It's
In
nice
this
lightweight.
case, just using it to make a frame. If I can get this knife to stay straight. So I'm just cutting it with a knife because it's really thin. And to use, say, a jigsaw or something, it's not only noisy, but it's It's overkill. And it's fragile, so it'll create a lot of jaggies.
Jaggies.
Yeah.
Technical term.
Yeah.
Look at your new sweater.
So, this is sort of a bit tedious, but with enough cuts.
You only need to do this 5 times.
Yeah.
No.
What have I got better to do? Oh, I know. Lots.
Anything?
Well, it's one of these ambitious projects. Instead of going to the dollar store.
I know. I thought it would be so simple. I thought you'd cut a few pieces of thin stuff like this and just.
That's actually a real pain in the butt.
Really? Oh, see, I didn't know.
Joining up wood is hard work.
Okay. David wants to put it all together. Okay, so Graham was invited to decorate.
What? We gotta tell this story again?
David doesn't get it. Okay. It's okay. To decorate a Christmas tree for a contest at a Timberline Ranch. And we're doing it as stable horse training. Graham does not love decorating trees. I love it. I have 4. Love it, love it, love it. So he asked if that would be something I'd like to partake in. I said yes, obviously, although it doesn't seem like I'm partaking. I'm just came up with an idea for you. Anyway, we had these wonderful ornaments made for us by Alice, which we did a live stream about. So somewhere along the lines, explain these. But anyway, so for each horse, I thought we should hang this ornament and of course this as well, and then a corresponding picture, because I thought it'd be really cool. And then it's advertising our wonderful horses that we have here. So what I need is picture frames. So this was the very first one at the beginning that he made, but my idea was a wider band so we can write their names. So if somebody comes to see it, they're gonna look like this and think, oh wow, what a beautiful horse. Oh, her name's Lena. So that's my idea. And then somewhere along, oh, Graham has her. Boop. And so it would hang like this. Alina and Alina. Anyway, I think it'll look really pretty. And then I have a bunch of white and blue, because that's kind of the color of the shirt. It's sort of everything for stable. Snowflakes that we're going to put around the tree around these things. Yeah, don't. I'm glad you didn't ask.
And some lights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is one. The very first time. Actually, Zeus is in the back of Lena's picture too, but you can't tell. Yeah, and do they give you lights? They better
No.
give us some. What? Oh, we have to take lights.
Well, I have lights.
Oh,
somewhere.
Oh, yeah, they have to be white and or blue.
Sure. No problem.
No multicolored.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, we have no idea. Do you know how big the tree is that they're giving us? That we're renting?
12 feet or something?
No, it's not.
I don't know why you ask me weird questions then. I give you an answer, you say no.
12 feet is absurd.
12-foot tree?
Most trees
8-foot tree?
Most trees
6 foot.
are 6 to 8 feet in a house. So it's not going to be 12 foot otherwise. And we're going to have 10 ornaments.
It's a barn that they have.
10 ornaments on an entire tree. That'll look ridiculous. I went based on the pictures that I saw on the website from the competition last year. They look between 6.5 and 7.5 feet.
Why did you ask me then?
Well, because I didn't know if you knew specifically because you filled out the form.
Seems like a trick question.
It's not a trick question. I just didn't think you'd think 12 feet. Anyway.
Seems like a trick question. It's like one of those questions.
Feet tall. So, but how big is the one in New York City? Do you know that?
I'm not answering any more questions. What do I look like, an idiot?
It's in Rockefeller Center. That one's what? That I don't know how big. If anyone knows, I'm very curious. We don't even. It's not actually a deadline. I mean, it is and it isn't. You have a 2-hour window this Tuesday night. So we're doing this last minute as per our norm. And so we'll go there at 7 to 9 p.m. and you decorate anything you want to do, and that's it. That's your only window to do it. So just fine. We'll get this done.
Yep.
Oh, Dee Dee says little carrots and apples would be cute. I like how you think. Ooh, I wish I'd thought of that. I don't know where you'd find. I mean, I'm not gonna put real ones on there, but okay. Well, this will be the interesting thing is that we can gather up information for next year. 'Cause I'm sure we'll go again.
Well, I'm sure and go to the dollar store. There's got to be something.
You think little tiny apples and carrots? That would be cute. That really would. I really like that. Oh wow! See, 65 feet tall and 35 feet wide.
You said 100.
I was just being you. I was making fun of your status. Yeah, well, it's true, Sue. Although we didn't. She says if they had known, they could have sent ornaments.
We should put Sue's picture in there. Wow.
There's so many things, but her, like the big one.
No, Lena?
Yeah.
It could be like a memorial.
I know, but I know when I went to touch it. It's
Put a
too
sign
small.
say,
Yeah,
don't touch.
No touching that one. That one's very, very. I guess it's. I hopefully no one's allowed to touch any of these actually, but I mean our pictures I'm not worried about, but I don't want anyone to touch our ornaments in case because they're not really fragile. They've just done a great job on them. They're very stable.
Yep.
But I know we weren't very organized to it announcing it or anything, so that's why we're sort of, and we didn't get a ton of notice.
No.
Okay.
I actually just registered yesterday. So.
No. Well, it's been a few weeks, but I don't know how much time people would have to send us things they need.
Oh. Yeah.
But that would be really cool for next year if it was sort of all the people that want to send stuff in, like a community tree. How cool would that be from all over the world?
That'd be cool.
That would be really, really cool. We could do that here.
A stable horse training tree?
Yeah. I mean, when do we take these things down? I don't know.
Remember.
Just make 10 of them.
10 of what?
Those. Instead of 5, double it up. Yeah, I really envision this being a very simple booth. Sorry.
Well, I thought about there was thicker wood that I could use, but see, once it starts to go, it just starts to go.
Snaps, yeah. Yay! Definitely a communal tree next year. Now I'm excited.
Yeah.
As I said, I love Christmas trees. You know that. We will definitely be posting pictures of when it's all done.
Make a whole video about it.
Yeah. So everybody get to see things. I didn't know if we were going to put up a one family photo. Like one of the ones with the horses or something.
No? You don't know?
I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how you feel about that. Right now, Graham has to make 5 frames. But if I add an extra photo in, that's going to make it 6. He's almost done 1. That's not bad, though. I mean, it's not that long. You have all day tomorrow. Do you want me to do that part at least? No?
Sure.
Look, I can have one job.
Let me just trace this out. Then. Where's the picture?
Dinner. Yeah, looks great.
Okay, so just Sandy. Oh, hang on.
Little tiny bug.
So just sand it out like the other one, where it's got rounded edges and stuff.
Oh, I see.
So it's rounded like a little bevel, and then rounded edges.
You just did that by sanding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on.
Moving on up. Ah, see? Yeah, will you make some with the stable horse logo? That'd be a good idea too. Yeah. Because if you make one and then you just print off your logo, that would look nice too. Just needs more frames.
I think we can only have one sign that has a company.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. Is there a right side and wrong side? Is this the side that's showing, or the pencil mark, or is this
Yep.
the side?
Nope. That's the good side.
Okay.
This is the good side. So, not so exciting, I suppose, but it's a pretty important project. I'd like to at least make second. First prize was what was it again? It was a ride for an hour for 10 people. 10 people, 10 horses. And they've got some trails. They've got a big piece of land up there. It's not very far away. It's only maybe 10, 12 minutes away or so. And so from here to there, it's not like we're going somewhere not exotic or something. It's very local. So to me, I wouldn't want to do that. I don't think so. Second prize was, I think, some hoodies. Something. Can't remember. Anyways, there's second and third prize. Third prize was a loot kit or something, some gift cards maybe. I don't know. So the idea being that I'd like to draw some attention and
Yeah, advertise.
advertise.
Our beautiful horses.
I mean, it has been getting busier. Mostly kids, to be honest. Mostly kids. Mostly parents that want their kids not to just ride. It's weird. I'll have people call. I don't know about weird, but I guess it's like a trend. I guess you could say that's sort of the weird part. And these parents call up and they say, "Well, I took my kid riding, and all they're doing is walk, trot, canter, and they haven't done anything different. They just go in circles or whatever." So it doesn't feel like my child is learning much about horses and is just learning to ride around a little bit. It's not what I want. So I say, well, we teach horsemanship. Oh, I'm going to wreck my table. We teach horsemanship here. Meaning that you got to learn how to handle a horse. And most students don't get on a horse for at least 3 lessons. And if they don't stick it out those 3 lessons, well, then they were never destined to hang around with me. Because I just won't stand for it. I won't. And mainly because it's not safe. My horses are too untrained. I don't know what the word is, but they're not push button horses of any sorts, except for if you choose to make a relationship with them. And so that's my point. And I've had both adults and kids sort of rush through the process of groundwork and handling the horse and hanging out with them. And they just want to ride. And I said, okay, go ahead. You're not going to like it. Oh, okay. And so they have some troubles after about 10 minutes when the horse figures out they don't know what they're doing. And the horse just ends up even just leaning or something. Just kind of doing what they want. Wanders off, go get a drink of water. And then sort of, it ends up being a bit of a fight kind of thing. You got it?
I think so. Okay. That's good.
Yeah, yeah, I get the inside as well. So, and then the funny thing is I don't know about funny. I don't mean funny as in ha ha funny, but I guess the interesting thing is they'll have some trouble like that. Come on. There we go.
Do you have stain? Someone's asking for staining.
I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not.
I doubt it.
I'm a serious crafter, Mummy. So it looks so serious.
You are. Okay. So we're almost done too. 3 more to go. Nothing.
Well, I think you should do one. We should do the one with all 3 of us and the horses.
No, I'm not making any more.
No.
Well, we'll see. After all, I'm not doing anything more, am I?
This.
So, the type of people I'm attracting are ones that don't want to just ride. So they come out and do a few lessons and do some leading and some driving and groundwork and handling on the ground, and then everything I teach, I tell them there's something that's going to match that when you get in the saddle. So it all starts to, that's where I'm going to. It all starts to come together for them when they ride, if they graduate to that, they stick around long enough, which most do. And it makes sense. But then the ones that rushed it, they learn pretty quick. Because they'll go to do something and say for example with Luke, I say, okay, well get him to back up, and they'll be pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, and Luke is very resilient against non-soft or imprecise or I don't know, low quality riding. He'll totally ignore somebody for a long time. And what?
Sorry, before you keep slicing, there's been a brilliant suggestion to just cut out the piece and then do that.
Nope, doesn't look as good. I thought about that as well.
Okay.
Thank you for the suggestion. But I can tell you straight out that this, so look at that for a second.
I have to get my phone to catch up so I can look.
Okay. I don't know if you guys will be able to tell exactly, but just give it some different angles.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Doesn't look bad.
Ta-da! Oh, that way.
But this looks better with that little bevel in place. Can you see on the camera?
Not really, no.
You can't really tell, but you can
but
tell,
I can
right?
tell in person. Yeah, it's true.
It just it's a tiny little shadow that gives the picture just that little bit of depth compared to being stuck on sort of a flat surface like that. It just, yeah, it doesn't have it.
David says that it looks better,
Oh, does it?
so he can tell.
David wants brownie points. You got him. 5 points for you.
Hi, Kimmy.
um,
Oh, this looks so good.
It just looks. I tried it. I already. It's a great suggestion. I mean, I already tried it.
Do we
That's
know
why
how
I'm
we're
not doing
hanging
it.
them?
Huh?
Do you know how you're hanging them?
No, no idea how I'm hanging them. I figured just tape on some twine or something or fishing line.
That's not bad. But not twine.
Not twine.
Sure not twine. Yes. Graham definitely does have an artistic eye. Which is part of the reason I find his pictures are so amazing.
So put that back in the middle.
If I'm saying good stuff, it comes in the middle, eh?
No, it was
I'm
off to the side because you were sanding.
I'm kidding.
So, anyways, back to the horse
Oh,
stuff.
good
So
idea.
somebody will come along and they won't be able to back Luke up, and I'll say, okay, watch this, and I'll just walk up from the ground and I'll hold his whatever he's got on, a halter or hackamore or something, and I'll just use my two fingers and I'll pull back and he'll back immediately, and I'll say it's not the horse that's the problem. Proof that if I can make him move, you can too, but you have to take the time to do it. You have to create the relationship. It sort of changes people's mind about how horse riding should work, why it works the way it does. You got the other one done? I'll stand it on the inside.
Yeah, it looks great. Sue had a good idea. She said hot glue hanger to the back,
Hot glue a hanger.
like a ornament hanger.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have lots of those.
Yep, me too.
Yeah. Want to work? To dirt.
So, that'll be the hope of the type of people that we're advertising to, not just for horse riding, horsemanship and handling and safety and stuff like that. My knife's getting dull. Break off. You gotta be kidding me. How far does this thing need to bend to break? Nope. Always try to do it underneath something. It flicks up.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Quick tip for these little things: if you got to break the blade off, do it underneath a board or something, because these things fling in the air like crazy. And then it'll come back into your face and slice your eyeball and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, can I show my picture of you on this?
I don't know. Nobody's gonna want to see that.
What? Yeah, you will. And I'm gonna show you a picture.
No, nobody wants to see that picture.
What? I'm not allowed?
I don't think anybody's gonna see it. Nobody's gonna care.
What? All right.
I don't think so.
Well, if you want to see a picture of Zeus and Graham snuggling on the couch like two adorable little things on the planet, then you can say yes.
No.
Oh, he says no. You said no one wants, so I thought I could ask them. All right, no one's allowed to see the adorable picture.
Well, I'm voting no because nobody's gonna want it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're adorable.
Just resting.
Sharing a blankie is adorable.
Nobody's sharing a blanket. You put the blankie on him.
No, when I first went over, he had it half on him, and you had it on you. And then I snuggled him up more because he got dirty, so he got wet. So then I just wrapped him up like a little sausage dog.
Come on. Cutting this thing long enough. Should be done by now.
One would think.
That's the hard edge.
Let's see, yes. You have your phone?
Do I have my phone?
Is it on so I can see what I'm doing? No? Oh, I'll just stand up. Look how adorable. That's what I went to delivery and found. And then it's true, I did snuggle him up more. Look how cute that is. Look, you guys are adorable. Yeah, see, you got a double aw. Super cute. I don't want to give up this one.
Oh, it's just the corner. Not good enough.
Adorbs. Totes adorbs.
Who wrote that?
Maria said adorbs.
Oh, she says that a lot.
It was a rainy Saturday.
Ah, the worst weather ever today.
Yeah. Well, no, that was yesterday when you were snuggling with the dog.
Well, try not to get any slivers. We need
Yeah.
the other one to
Oh,
carve
okay.
up the next piece.
Oh, yeah.
Get in there. Well, yeah, nice people over at Timberline. They're very friendly and chitty chatty when I went and stopped in. So that was nice. And kind of looking forward to meeting the rest of the crew there. I only think I met a couple people, so I know there's a lot more. And they were working hard on getting the place ready because they do a massive Christmas thing. And what did they have? They had, I guess maybe it was just summertime, but they did a Thanksgiving thing, Christmas thing, Easter thing.
They're huge in the summer. They have camps,
sleepovers, get rid of your kid, all kinds of stuff.
Very popular.
So, yeah, I think it's interesting that they found me. I don't know how they found me. So I look forward to talking to whoever discovered me, because we've been around here for a few years now, but didn't receive any invites until this year. Now, it could be that they were never inviting and they just hoped that people would find them. They're doing their event. But I don't know. Kind of curious. So I think I might ask. I have some expectation that they'll know, or somebody there will know all the horses here. They'll watch the YouTube channel. I mean, I've had people come up to me in public a few times now. Ask if I'm who they think I am, and tell me how much they love one of my horses or dog, Zeus. So it's nice. Oh, she said, come on, knife. Cut. Yeah, getting there. So we'll see what happens.
Graham is a superstar.
Yeah, right.
Celebrity Graham.
Okay. I hope this is worth it. Making custom frames. How many we got? 1, 2, 3.
That's it. That doesn't
Settle
count as
down,
one yet.
settle down. I'm just figuring out how many to cut. Super rainy day today. The only day it's been super rainy is my birthday. Thanks a lot, rain. But it's supposed to be nice for the next bunch of days, so look forward to getting back on track. Oh, that sucks.
What?
I made a big slice off to the side. You'll have to sand it out. Yeah. Sandpaper fixes everything. But I like the idea of a communal tree that maybe everybody can put some ideas in or something.
Little ornaments for.
Send some ornaments. Yeah.
Really neat.
Look at the microphone getting further and further away. Bring you guys back. Of course, you don't want to listen to the sanding, do you? Okay, I'm cutting one more here, and then I should have the last frame cut out of the wood. We can get it out of the way. Like so. Well, they don't have to be precisely the same. Nobody's gonna
Oh,
notice.
Okay. Someone saying it's better than ice. The rain.
Oh, geez. I've seen some pictures online where there's some serious snow in the States there. So, yeah, I'm glad it's not icy and snowy. We're not supposed to get too cold of weather for a bit here, which is nice. I'm not looking forward to the snow for management purposes. Although I do like the snow. That's for sure. Okay.
Talking about mud. How do you keep the mud problem from getting so bad?
Bam. Mud. We don't have a mud problem. What do you mean?
Well, Maria does. So then somebody was asking how you manage mud.
You tell it to go away forever. Go away, mud. You're not welcome here. Nobody likes you. How do you manage mud? Well,
So it's like we could use that one for the family one. So all you have to do is print it off because ours doesn't have to be labeled. Okay, go ahead.
what was I saying? Oh, mud, right? Okay, we can shuffle some stuff around.
This thing can come off.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, we're making progress in this place. I'll just stand up over there if you want.
Oh, it's just that.
Yeah, you can stand up there.
Just wait. Hold on.
Lovely. Managing mud is sort of a it's a one-time deal process. There's you dig out the really sloshy, goopy stuff. There's a video I did. If you search for it,
You want a coffee?
yeah, mine's cold. You gave me a cold coffee, and then
Is that the one I made you hours ago?
yeah, it's kind of good though.
Well, I could just nuke it if you want. You want fresh coffee?
Mud is it is dark. Is there no flashlight in here? No, they're both at the house. Yeah. You can't see that well because this light goes up quite a ways. Okay. I take mud pretty seriously because I hate it, and I've been to too many places that have serious mud problems. If you've already got a mud problem, you're starting off with a mud problem. There's only one way to deal with it, in my opinion. And it certainly isn't. I mean, I've seen suggestions online of trying to put a bunch of old hay on top or some garbage like that. You don't want to use any organics to solve the problem. Organics make mud. Meaning like leaves or branches or twigs or hay or straw. None of that stuff will ever be effective. It will just make good mud. It'll make really good mud because it just breaks down into mud. So the only way that I've ever effectively dealt with mud is to remove it completely, or at least down to a level that gets sort of hard. Sometimes if you don't want to keep on digging and digging and digging, but you've got to skim off that top layer of sloppy stuff and just. The next step is crucial, and it doesn't even matter. So say for example it's summertime and you are thinking about fall, winter, so the ground's dry, there's no skimming to be done, but this next step is utterly crucial when it comes to making sure you don't have to deal with mud. And that step is to put down fabric. Now some landscape fabrics are pretty weak and they don't really hold up to the amount of traffic that a horse can provide, and let alone if the horse makes it through whatever you put on top of that to that fabric, it has to hold up. So here in BC, we have this stuff called drainage cloth, and it's a really thick landscape fabric, very thick. I mean, It borderlines on felt. It's felt. It's quite thick. And you must put that down. And the reason you must put that down is it's literally just pure physics. And less dense items will always rise to the top. It's inevitable. It might take a while in some cases, but it'll happen sooner or later. More dense items go to the bottom, less dense items go to the top of the layers of material. So the way to really slow it down is to put fabric down. And that looks weird. Okay. So once you get your fabric down, you're separating out the two mediums. The mediums be the materials. So dirt or clay or sand or any other mixture of those. And whatever you're going to put on top. Now, whatever you're going to put on top, obviously, is probably not going to be dirt. It'll be gravel of some sorts or sand. And that is what's going to protect the cloth. Because you have to protect the cloth at all costs. If you punch a hole in the cloth, well, mud will come through. Physics demands it. Science says this is the way it works. You have no choice. And that's it. It's that simple. Anything else, inevitably, I've seen those ones where you put down these big plastic honeycomb looking things. I think that it's just a matter of time before those things allow material to bubble up. Not that I have any experience with them, because I'm not going to take a chance on them based on their cost. I believe they will work great in the beginning, but sooner or later, with enough water, yeah, it's just not going to go. So you must separate out. You must separate out the two mediums. Then, and only then, can you manage your mud. Other than that, I mean, the other option, if you don't want to dig it up or can't dig it up, is to continue to put down more and more gravel or rock or stuff that can make it drier. Keep water away. Water is the killer of everything, of footing. Almost done. So if you can keep the water away, you'll keep the what's it called? You'll definitely keep the mud down, because there won't be a way. It won't be a way for the mud, for the dirt to travel up through. It needs the water to get up and carry it. So it needs a carrier, which is the water. And then from there, it just makes its way up until it has a nice little tunnel made, and then all of its buddies come along for the ride. Pretty soon you got a muddy paddock or something. See this little flashlight bobbing through the air. So hopefully that answers your question about mud. Science. You can't argue with science. Come on. Back through. Move on. Next. I answered the question about mud, but I have no idea if it's had any effect.
Maria says landscape fabric is not feasible for big grass paddocks, unfortunately. How about a pool liner? I think it's just expensive.
Well, the whole arena that you see here is lined with landscape fabric.
That's true. Yeah.
It's all landscape fabric underneath that sand. Oh, sorry, underneath the road base, and then on top of the road base is the sand. So it's all landscape fabric underneath there. Now the small arena is a different story. I didn't do it all because I knew that it was going to be really thick. So I figured it just wouldn't come all the way through. Especially since I'm keeping the water level really low as well. I figured I'd be fine for a long time. You have to sand that off. There you go. Thank you. But okay, so then what are your other options? Pond liner? Yeah, sure. The biggest enemy though is the horse and puddles. So you got to grade it. You'll probably need to grade the area if you can, so that the water will run away. Puddles and low spots that hold water are guaranteed to be weak. So I don't know why. I don't think pond liner would be very cheap. I think it'd be quite expensive. Oh, that's better. Your flashlight's on, by the way.
Oh.
So did that answer Maria's question? I wonder. What does she have to say?
Nothing. They just said, sorry, Maria, that's happening. I think to get rid of mud in large pasture area would be so difficult with half ton of happy hoofs. You know? Well, and Maria doesn't own, right? She's just like the property. So she's trying to help the place. So how would you help it if you couldn't do something like a mass reno?
If you can't do a mass reno, just create drainage. Get rid of the water. Whatever you do, get rid of that water. Even if you got to create some ditches and stuff. Horses can step over these things. They don't usually step in them. Ow.
Okay.
I think so. But yeah, get rid of that water. Whatever you do, you got to get rid of the water. So ditches, pipes, drainage areas. You can create one low area and raise the rest if you can get a machine in. I'm not sure if I got a sliver in here. Can't tell. I see something black. Ah, it's the worst spot for a sliver, man. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
That is the worst. That's never going to come out. How do I get that out? Needle? Ugh. Hate slivers. Yeah, get rid of the water. So plenty of methods for that. Just pick the one you like the most and have at it. That will get rid of mud. Obviously, no water equals no mud. I mean, most of the time people want to protect gate areas, and you can put mats down. Mats will help because You're not going to have a lot of traffic on those spots. That will be churning up the dirt and the water. Okay, knife's getting dull again. Lots of pencil lines? Oh, those are just mistakes. So you have to sand them off, which is easy to do, or should be easy to do. Well, yeah, mud is always water caused. Get rid of the water. So look for entrances of where water can kind of come in. Rainfall alone is obviously going to affect you, but look for places that it's sort of draining into an area as well. See if you can cut it off before it can make it. I have the same problem here. We had a pile of rain, so I started to reevaluate my pathways and what I'm going to do for my rainy spots, or my muddy spots, because they exist. Especially when driving the gator over them all the time. Right?
Right.
Oh no!
What?
James, I broke this one a little. Think anybody will notice?
No.
Something smells funny like paint.
What?
Something smells like paint.
Yeah, I smell it too.
It's weird.
What goes into the frame? The pictures of each of our horses. Catch up. And one of Zeus. That's the plan.
Yeah. Getting there. Almost done. Right?
Yep. So I guess I'll take them and write the names on them.
Sure.
That's it. Oh, and then we got a hot glue one.
It's like pressure washing. You know, you think it's a great idea when you start. And you're like, hey, this place is looking cleaner. Then about 20 minutes in, you're starting to think, man, I don't want to pressure wash anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh well. Too bad, right? Let's get to it. Finish it up. Ah, crap. See? Do you think we can just tape it together? It is just wood.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Well, I think it's not till Tuesday night, so. Yep, David has exactly right. And what did you call this stuff? What kind of wood are you using? Why is there a dead spider in there? Interesting. What kind of wood is this again? Grass.
Mahogany.
There you go. Yeah, David's right. It's for a tree decorating contest. And ta-da! We're gonna use pictures of the horses and Zeus because we had ornaments made for us a long time ago. Da-da-da-da-da. After last Christmas, though, because we didn't have them on our trees. We got them after December. So I always thought I wanted them on the tree. So we're going to use these beautiful little ornaments with the pictures. And hopefully win a contest. That'd be nice. Either way, it'll just be cool to have. Even if we don't win these. I guess I probably can't wear my pajamas to bed now because I'll be covered in slippers. Why did you give me that look?
Which looks at? Then look at you.
Mm-hmm. No? Okay.
Nope.
Good?
Oh.
What? I'm out.
What's that?
I'm out.
Why?
It's almost 10 and I gotta be up at 6 a.m.
No.
I got a house full of kids coming at 6 a.m. So you'll have to sand the last two.
Well, I've got all day tomorrow to do it.
Yeah.
I figured I'd at least cut these things out.
Oh, it's
Yeah, I'll
great.
cut these out and then call it a night. What is
Yeah.
it, 10? Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah. All right, good night, everyone. I have to go.
Bye, Jenners.
Bye.
Night, night, sleep tights, let the bed bugs bite. Because they need to eat too. Right? You looking at me funny? Yeah. I think I need to find a needle for this thing as well. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. So, now it's just me. No, I gotta pay attention to comments. But, what I did. Thanks, David. Yes. What I did on that. Yeah, it's today's been kind of a. This looks weird. Oh, it's been an interesting day. It was pouring rain. I mean, utterly just coming down cats and dogs this morning. So not a lot really to sort of report on. Horses are doing okay. But yeah, for my birthday, I just pretty much we went for breakfast at a local restaurant, which is got some okay food. It's not the greatest, but pretty good. Nice place, good service, just nice atmosphere most of the time. And so that was done, and then what do we do after that? came back and took care of horsies and stuff. And then what else? I feel like not much. It's been a very quiet day, relatively. And then there's this place called Castle Fun Park. It's not gonna work. And so Haley and I went there. She loves it there because it's essentially an arcade, and they've got a batting cage and go-karts. But she mostly likes to get these tickets. So it's kind of like an amusement park as well. You can play games to get tickets. And then you get all these tickets and you cash them in for stuffies or whatever. So in the end, we had 570 tickets, which is quite a bit. It's a reasonable amount. So what did we get? Candy. That was cool though. That was good. And then now, finally, I can get on with this project. I'm sure some of you have been sort of wondering what's happening with videos. I've literally just been either too busy to do anything with the footage that I do take, or just forgot the camera and I did something. I was in the arena the other day, and I had all 4 of mine plus Piggy. And so I decided that I was going to spend the next hour and a half for sure, maybe even 2 hours with them. No camera, no nothing, nobody else to pay attention to, just the horses. Because I've had it said before, and somebody had said, you know, it's a lot of work having to sort of pay attention to us and the camera, and meaning you guys, and the horses, and sort of pay attention to what I'm doing. I said, yeah, it is. And I can never really put my full attention towards them. It's not like I don't spend time with them, but this time I really wanted to, man, I am just getting impatient. So I got a little slot. I'm going to have to sand that up. Anyways. Could glue tiny candy canes on the frames. That's a good idea. Okay, what do we got? What about candy cane stripes? Yeah, yeah. Let's see. What? What? Okay. When's the birthday? Birthday's the 17th. And now I understand the joke. Hope you didn't have to take your socks off to get that number. Yeah. Har, har, har. Brenda, good idea. Candy cane stripes. Could probably do something like that. I'm not sure exactly what we're doing, if we're going to color these up or anything, or just leave them wood. My part is to make the frames. So that's what I'm up to. David has a joke. I have a joke too, but go ahead. Where is it? Knock, knock. Knock, knock. Who's there? Who's there? Why do you keep knock knocking? Who's there? Doris. Doris who? Doors locked or something? David, your joke sucks. Where's the rest? Door's locked. That's why I'm knocking. Ah ha ha. I already got your joke before you could write it. Sue asks, are we staining? I don't know. Maybe. I don't have any. Oh no, of course I do. Of course I have staining. Fifth one done, but I don't know. I kind of wrecked this one. I could probably fix it back well enough. Maybe nobody would notice. Okay, I got a joke. It's a good one. There's two peanuts running down the road, and one peanut is chasing the other peanut. And the first peanut's like, "You're never gonna catch me." And the second peanut says, "I'm a cashew." Get it? I'm a cashew. It's a good one. I love jokes. I wish I could remember more jokes. I really do. I wish I was good at remembering them. I just can't. I only get a few of them. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, that's 3. Here's the other one. 4, 5. Okay, I'm not sure what to do if I should do another one. I might need to do another one, but not right now. Golf claps. I'm a cashew. Been saving that one up for 2 days. Door is locked. Well, what are you gonna do is an easy one. Okay, so all I gotta do is sand these things. I think I'm just gonna redo this one because that's too bad. Oh well, that's fine. That's fine. It was a good joke. Thanks. Okay, so now we've got that done. We've got to do the names. Yeah, Alice did a really good job on these things. They're cute. It's tedious work doing stuff like this. It's nice. All the horses and the dog. The pictures, though, I might have to. Let's see what happens. I think the one with Zeus is fine, but it looks nice. I think that looks good. There's Lena, and then there's Ronnie. He'll look like that. So that's nice. And then Gracie's picture was interesting because this is one of her first pictures here. So she looked like that when she came. But her chest was, she had some skin issues. So if I didn't tell you, you probably wouldn't really notice. But now that I've told you, you might notice. There's Luke, looking sharp. But she had some skin issues that she came with due to whatever was at the other place that she was at. So we got it all cleared up. She's fine now, obviously. Been fine for a long time. But I had to use a little bit of Photoshop time and sort of clean up her chest. There's Zeus. So these are going to look nice, and they'll go alongside these little ornaments and stuff on the trees. That's the last explanation for everybody about what I'm up to, why this project. It's an important project. I'd really like to see us kind of get somewhere. So with the Timberline competition, and in turn, I mean, what it really means is, with any luck, it means that there'll be more people that will become aware that this place exists. Hopefully, a little bit more successful that it can become, and essentially, as even as you guys are here, many people have said, sort of the horsemanship skills and the safety skills and the ability to understand that there's a way to sort of talk to horses, or at least be able to listen to them when they're talking. And I've actually been having this particular conversation, which was a good one. That's a good one. That's the floppy bad one. Chuck it over there so I don't think about it. And this is my small one that I made. Okay, that's good. Let's get rid of these. But I've been having a conversation. Firewood or something. I've been having this conversation with people for quite a bit now. Recently, talking about relationships with horses and why they're important, and how much of a difference it can make from person to person. I sort of one of the points of concern that people have is they have their horse at a boarding facility or something, so they're not always there, and somebody else is handling their horse, and they can become a little bit worried about whether or not somebody's going to do something that will alter their horse so that they won't be able to handle their horse anymore. And I always try to reassure people about that because uh, I can I can usually show and prove how um, it doesn't matter what anybody does to, say, for example, my horses. So you can do anything you want. That's going to be the relationship you create with them. I mean, outside of pure abuse, obviously, outside of being hit or um, whipped or any of these things, that's going to make them more afraid of objects or postures, maybe stances. But for the most part, you know, it's it, it everybody's good. Everybody has the opportunity to create their own relationship with their horse, and it will carry good or bad. Um, some horses are prone to be more afraid of things. They're a little bit more, maybe more wild or more. You leave them alone for a little bit, and they easily revert back to certain behaviors. Um, you know, I struggle with that with Roni and Gracie, obviously, who's they're both better than they were, but they're if I leave them alone for a while, then I come back to a horse that is kind of struggling with the same old things. Um, but to there's nobody out there that's going to be able to destroy a relationship that you've created with a horse or improve it. And so that's also my other point that I make with that you get to make or break everything that you do with any horse, yours or not. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that this project's a bit of a big deal, and it's going to carry tomorrow and Tuesday, obviously, and then for the next month, people will be viewing and stuff, and hopefully more awareness can come about how it's important to be safe around horses, keep distance, learn how to lead, learn how to do groundwork, learn how to handle them so that you know they care what you ask. So you guys have seen me if I've got Gracie and I ask her to come along with me, well, I expect her to be in a very particular place. I don't expect her to be jumping around me. I don't expect her to be trying to kick out at any other horse, even though she has done it. Luke has come wandering up and she thinks she needs to do something about it. And so those things are good for me. I don't enjoy it, but I look forward to gaps that I get to fill where I can say, look, I don't care if Luke is there. So neither should you. Trust me, everything will be fine. If something does go a little bit sideways, I'll take care of it. I'll see it coming. But you have to be able to provide that reliability, that consistency for the horse so that they can look to you and say, do I need to take action here? And say, no, don't. I'll deal with it if anything needs to be dealt with. But it takes practice. So that kind of practice, when I have students come here, there'll be times when they'll go get a horse that is alone, no problem. Go get them a pack. And I'll say, well, now they're in the arena. Go get them from the arena. There's 3 other horses in there. I want you to be aware of that. If you block one, you need to, let another out or something. You need to cut a horse out. Well, you need to figure that out. Um, but reading the horses and understanding that, there's not a lot of, I haven't seen a lot of schools that go in that direction. So I feel like it's a bit unique. Um, Not that there aren't many people out there that do their best to try to teach horsemanship and stuff. So, but a little bit more awareness, nothing wrong with that. Hopefully it goes well. So, anyways, okay. Um, Sue says the picture of Zeus on the stump is a good one. Yeah, not this one. This one's he's at the beach on the stump. You mean the one that I took recently, maybe? That one was a really good one. Thanks, Brenda. Oh, Kathy says she loves the Zeus one as well. I do too. We went to that lake is the same lake you guys might remember. Went to it's called oh god, it's called I think I think it's Raleigh Lake. It's up near a campsite and stuff. Anyways, I went there before when it was frozen. Did some drone shots of that. You guys might have seen that. Definitely saw it in the last montage where I had all my drone shots in it. That was in there. That frozen lake was there. But we'd go there often, take a walk. I did a 360 video at that place too. Actually, it was all snowy and icy and stuff. So when the lake was frozen over, it's a really cool um, place to go. So Brandon says, "Little Luke showing my age. Real McCoy shows that Zeus is so handsome." Real McCoy's show on TV. Zeus is so handsome. I'm assuming you're watching this on TV. Luke there was actually quite a bit younger, I think. He looked adorable when he was little. Kathy says, I think every encounter with a horse means something. Do they recognize individuals that well? Sometimes I'm not sure. I always talk to people. I say, from the minute you show up within their field of vision, you are teaching them something about you. And horses can recognize people from a long ways away. I have seen it. I don't know if they recognize me from a long distance because I'm just always here. So, but when I see owners show up and their horse pays attention a little bit closer, or they call out or something, voice, posture, I don't know how good. I don't know how far horses can see accurately. I know they are great at detecting movement. I don't know how we would be able to know if they could recognize shapes or something like that. But I think horses pick out people really well. And not only do they pick out people really well, but they will pick out their mood really well. Um, Today it was raining, pouring rain. I needed to switch out Roni and Luke quickly. Now, when I approach Luke quick, he just sort of stands at attention. When I approach Roni quick, he gets worried. When I approach him slow and kind of, you know, relaxed and I don't really have any great agenda, he's curious and he sort of checks me out, but not worried. He's never fully off guard. That is a horse that is very sensitive. So I don't think that'll ever go away. But anyway, so I was in a rush. I needed to get things done. I needed my horses to just line up. Luke was great because he's such an easygoing horse. He's never seen a troubled day in his life, I don't think. Um, but Roni just acts different. He thinks different. And so when I went to go get him, he was pretty worried. He ran around the paddock. And I just thought, okay. And I just tried to release all of that um, energy uh, and cut him off, stopped him. And then I just completely tried to deflate those thoughts. And he came back. Even though he was still a little edgy. So each step along the way, I had to continue to kind of and I'd reach for him and I'd let him know he's okay. He's been a good boy. Um, so yes, Kathy, I do believe that horses can very easily detect and understand different people, and within those different people, different moods and feelings and pieces of energy within that, they're very, very accurate. They're absolute professionals at detecting things that can get them killed, I guess is the best way to put it. Um, at least hurt or something, I suppose. Um, and Roni is particularly, I've been working hard with Roni. I have no video of it, but I've been working hard with him. Riding, actually, I use him in lessons. I'll ride. For my students that can ride with me and not need me on the ground. So, um, and I've been working a lot with him. I'm trying to get him to handle swinging a rope over top of him while riding. It's taking him. I'll probably do a video on it. So, yes, Kathy, it means something. Oh, David, thanks. Thumbs up. Yep, thumbs up for all YouTube's algorithm. I mean, I know everybody here likes this stuff. I never worry about it. For everybody that views the video, you're viewing the video for a reason. You probably like it. It's good. So I always appreciate it. It's really, as David's saying, it's really actually just for YouTube, so that YouTube will say this channel is a good channel, and more people will come and hang out and hopefully learn some stuff. Don't forget the Pear Bears. The Pear Bears. Pear Bears have not been around. It's been very quiet for bears. Um, if anything, I think we've had some raccoons tooling around. Um, but wildlife has come down quite a bit. So, Ida says it sounds like the contest is good exposure for everyone, including the host ranch. Also a fundraiser. Yes, um, Timberline Ranch wants more exposure for sure, and I am happy to give it to them. I think what they're doing is great. Um, they provide terrific events. They are part of the community. Um, so I'm happy to help get the message out that they exist. Um, and you know, maybe in time we'll be able to do some events there of some sorts, or do some videos. And they've got great property to do some cinematic stuff with. If they were to allow some drone shots and stuff, I mean, it would be fantastic. I'm excited. I can't wait to chit chat with them. So the pics of dolphining in the snow are sweet. Guess there are the videos of Zeus. Yeah, yeah, all pics of Zeus. Yeah, the Zeus is so much fun. I hope he goes for quite a while longer. So let's see. DD Davis saw a great bumper sticker years ago. Be kind to dumb humans. Animals are so much more aware and intelligent than people realize. Um, yeah, there's a thing that goes around Facebook once in a while, or Instagram or something, whatever. Anyways, it's a caption meme kind of thing, and essentially it's a picture of a horse talking to another horse about a human that has a tarp over top of their body. They're trying to acclimate their horse to tarps and stuff. And the horse says, "Oh, that's my weird human, or my strange human," or something like that. The other horse says, "Oh yeah," says, "Yeah, but that's my human," kind of thing. Um, be kind to dumb humans. Um, I'm really, I. It's funny. I get it. I get it. I do always feel like I want to put in a little caveat about um, these kinds of things, where we would label a person dumb for not understanding animals. Um, it's hard, and the problem is that there's not a lot of culture, or successful culture, successful meaning money, I suppose, but um, the industry that pulls in the cash, I guess, very little of it is dependent on communicating with the horse in a more peaceful, or back and forth. Horse racing is a great example. There's a lot of money there, and there's not a lot of communication. You just sort of make them go. Some of the horses die, which obviously is very poor communication. So there's that. And obviously many other things that people have pointed out, and there's articles about, and there's science about, that says this is not good at communication with the horses. It's too much pain, uh, too much pressure, things like that. So it's not promoted a lot. We don't have a lot of promotion towards the idea that we need to communicate. We need back and forth. There is the very basics, which I try to show, and it's sort of a subliminal message in a way, but I talk about it at the same time, so it's not. But just scratching the horse and figuring out what they're looking for and how they co-groom and stuff. That type of communication is, they will rely on us to be effective for their well-being. And this carries to taking care of their feet. I was trimming a horse the other day. Oh, where was I? I was in Vancouver, and a lady was talking, and I had, I knew I needed to take my time with this horse. He was very cautious and fearful, and he talked a lot, but a lot of his conversation, this sounds weird. I'm only putting it in these terms because it makes sense. It makes the most sense in a logical way. But the conversation to be had with this horse was one of, get away from me. I don't trust you. You're probably going to do something that somebody else did. Uh, I'm going to tell you to go away until you go away. The very basics of the conversation. My part of the conversation was, I get it. I understand. I get it. I understand. I'm not going away. I get it. I understand. I'm not going away. Calm down. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Until finally, he did. He just let go. He just let go, and he brought his head down and sort of half closed his eyes. And I was able to kind of get on with trimming without any real trouble. I'd go down to his foot and I'd ask him very lightly to pick it up, and he would. His owner was very concerned and worried about whether or not um, he was going to be reliable or scary or anything. Um, and he was a little worried here and there, so I just continued to do my same approach. He tells me, "Get away from me, I'm scared," and I tell him, "I'm okay with that, but settle down. Everything's fine. I'm your best friend. You just don't know it yet." And um, it goes back to the idea when I walk into Roni's paddock and I'm too fast and I'm too uptight and I'm too, I don't know, edgy. Because I really wanted, I just needed to get these two horses switched out. I just need, that's all I need to do. And I want to go back inside or whatever I needed to do, go do some other job. Time limit. I got our time frame that I need to get these things done in. He doesn't handle that well. No problem. So same thing for this horse. When I was done with trimming him, I did something I haven't done in a really long time to somebody else's horse. And I literally just straight untied him from what he was tied up into. And I just held him by his halter and started to work with him. The owner was very, very good about it. So I'm not saying I went, um, I did something that I thought was going to be outside of the comfort zone of either of the owner, um, or beyond the boundaries of what the owner would probably allow me to try or do. But it was definitely beyond the boundaries of what the horse was willing to let me do. Now, as I've said a million times over, when I go to trim horses, I don't like them to be tied up because I have no direct line of communication outside of holding their leg. But I don't have anything else. I'm not able to detect if they're going to try to walk off because they're tied. I'm not able to detect if they're going to back way because they're tied. They don't have an option either. So they have no way to communicate to me, stop doing what you're doing. I'm not comfortable right now, outside of being edgy and jittering around. So then there's no way to also correct it because they're tied. So I knew that once I was done, it would probably be a good opportunity to get in there and say, well, look, let's do some close quarters work here. Because the next time I show up, I want this horse to think, huh, he's not so bad. He's a fair dude. There's nothing that went wrong. It ended well. He was pretty soft, firm when they need to be, but soft as soon as you can. And it took a little while. I think I worked with him for almost 45 minutes. Um, no cost. I didn't charge for it. Nobody asked me to do it. I don't charge for it. But I knew that I needed something to carry in the future. So it goes back to Kathy's question. Do horses remember? We're going to find out. I'm going to find out the next time I go how much he remembers me. And I'm going to ask to trim him with just his lead rope on. No more cross ties. And I expect it will go very well. So that communication, that back and forth is vital, really vital, really important. Um, they have to be able to communicate to you, and you must listen. I think so. All right, I've gone on a long time. Let's see. Jane, thank you for the happy birthdays. I don't know who said happy birthday to everybody who said happy birthday. Thank you very much. Yes. Brenda says I'm a good storyteller. Thanks, Brenda. Uh, Kathy says I know dogs are sensitive about energy. They are, yeah. Zeus gets pretty worried if I'm riled up or I'm really calm or I'm really happy. Um, he reacts accordingly. Monique's gone to bed. Good night. Thank you, Jane. Kathy says, I wish I knew back when our family had 9 horses, what I've learned just on this channel. Wow, thank you. Yeah, 9 horses, a lot of horses. Wow. TD says, yes, I agree. And I also feel sad that so many people don't have the opportunity to be around animals as much. One of the things that I have always encouraged, we get a lot of people that want to come and just pet the horses. Just come and say hi, just see the place or something like that. And they will come 1 time or 2 times or something like that, and never see them again. But I always try to have them walk away with some good impression of the animals. And, maybe years down the road, they'll have that and they'll say, I really like that time I went and visited horses. We should go visit some horses somewhere. Maybe we'll get a horse. Maybe they'll treat them well. Kathy says, I need a consistent horse fix. Well, go buy one. hmm. um, David, I don't think horsemanship was as developed or as evolved. When I was a kid, horses seemed to be something you threw a saddle on and went, giddy up. It's true. There weren't, um, when we look back now, with the internet that we have and the availability of books that were available then, but nobody knew about because there was no really good way to market these books. They were local, stuck in some library somewhere, but publishers didn't have a really effective way of getting it out worldwide. I mean, you go on Amazon now, right? You can download something to a Kindle, an iPad, or tablet, or your phone. The ability to market something. If I wrote a book, I could market it around the world. But 30 years ago, could I do that? No. So what we are figuring out is that there there's a lot of literature, I guess. There are some, but there's good literature out there, short stories or short bits and pieces, um, from a few people. And then there's a lot that don't publish anything. They might just do some clinics and somebody might know somebody. Oh, I went to this thing one time and this guy was just a horse whisperer sort of deal. But it didn't really kind of make mainstream until a few horsemen started to capitalize on the internet or um, the digital age. Even VHS, there wasn't a lot of material out. Once DVDs came about, the digital age kind of came about. That's when things started. People started saying, "Hey, I think I can sort of get my material out in an effective way." And that's just evolving and getting better as time goes on. Now, as for the idea of getting better and better with horses, that's normal and natural because now we can, as they sort of put it, we can stand on the shoulders of giants, kind of thing. Um, and for all the people that have shared their information, there's those that will come in brand new and they won't have to go through all that trouble to learn it all. And then those people will start off hopefully younger and they'll be standing on the shoulders of giants, kind of thing, like, oh, I learned this and this, now I'm going to continue with that. And so that evolution will continue and so on and so forth. So you're right, absolutely, there certainly wasn't nearly as much information out there as before, and it wasn't as evolved, and it is evolving at a very rapid rate right now, especially for health stuff, diet, hooves, um, horse general horse care, um, especially if you're not stuck in the classical stuff that where rules and regulations are limiting evolution badly, then yeah, sky's the limit now. It's great. It's amazing. So, Kathy wants to start over. Maria, everybody was young in high school. It's true. Heather says, I agree. So everybody here is talking about how, um, and David's been so kind to say finding this channel has evolved us all and how we engage with horses. I hope I've been able to assist some people of finding different ways to chit chat with their horses and discover. I mean, it's an amazing place to be. I think I don't know if I was talking about it. My memory is just a blur half the time because I talk about so many things to so many people. But I don't know if I was talking about doing. Oh yes, I was. Now I remember. Yes, I was talking about it because it was in a Q&A of the last live stream I did. We were talking about dancing with horses. I called. There's a particular step I do called the tango. So actually, to go back to the story about being in Vancouver of this horse, interestingly enough, the lady that owns that horse knew the lady that owned Gracie. Small world. Amazing. Anyway, so she was ecstatic that Gracie had found her way here, which is really nice as well. Um, so anyway, so uh, back to her though, in the time. So one of the exercises that I was doing, and I was trying to explain to her. So I did a bunch of things to try to get this horse to sort of connect up and get a feel of um, what my space was about, what my cues are, what I expect to get from him based on what how I ask, how light I'd like to be able to ask, how quiet I'd like to be, um, and sometimes horses that are not really interested in that because it gets into something that goes a little bit deeper. But some horses can get I don't know if it's real, but the best way to put it is that some horses can get sort of embarrassed to let down, let loose, to relax around a person, to find themselves, I don't know about giving in. It certainly isn't about being submissive, but to show some kind of weakness, I guess you could say. There's a guy called Jim Masterson. If you haven't heard of him, go look him up. It's fantastic. As far as I'm concerned, he's a wizard. I think he's a wizard or a sorcerer, personally. Um, and he 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 does massage, sort of. I don't know a way to explain it. Works on horses. He does body work for horses, but he does it in a way that he's really reading the horses. And one of his videos really stuck with me. He says, "Here, this horse is interesting because I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to do this and that. And when I'm done, this horse will turn around, face the corner, and release. And you can't choreograph this stuff. You can't train a horse. I mean, you can, but this wasn't a trained situation. He literally did his thing on the neck or the back of the head or whatever he was working on, or the jaw or some spot. The horse did something and he says, okay, here I got to get out. So he steps back and steps out. And the horse kind of does this and sort of, and he turns and faces into the corner and shakes or yawns or whatever he did, whatever the horse did. I don't know. I can't remember now. He says, there. He says, some horses need to be like an ostrich with their head in the sand, like, there's nobody watching, there's nobody watching, kind of thing. And he says, I've seen it countless times. I mean, I think he's worked on thousands of horses. So he's got a lot of good experience in the area. And so this, to me, this was one of those horses that just said, I can't can't do it while you're watching. I can't do it while I'm next to you. But I treat that differently. And I say to him, you're okay. You can release with me. It's fine. I'll be here. I'm not going to really interrupt. I don't know how to explain it. I really wish that I could show it, but I don't think I'd be allowed to. But the next step after sort of getting a release and getting the horse to um, do a full release of energy, of sort of that stress, that tense, where you kind of go, oh, okay, you know, but you're in a weak position because you're sort of just paying attention to what, what you're doing. And, you know, and it's kind of a weird place. And so a lot of horses, some horses, not a lot, but some horses just can't, they won't do it. So the next kind of thing that I do that I feel that gets them to be with me a bit better, working back to the conversation, is the tango. And it's silly, but the owner herself was flabbergasted. She was just, she says, I can't believe it. He actually looks like he's enjoying himself for once. And it is literally just the method of getting a horse entrained to you, or as there's more catchy terms like connecting up or hooking on or whatever. But the real word is entrainment. And if you watch any of the horse observation videos that I put out, and you watch Lena and Roni, or Luke and Peggy, or Gracie and Buddy, maybe, I don't know. She tries, but when they go out, then they go out together. They go out proper together. You see them really match up. Even Luke and Roni, sometimes they will go out and they'll be matched. That is entrainment. So when I refer to the tango, I'm literally trying as hard as I can to either match up or get the horse to match up to where we are matching up together our movements. Whether that is just leaning back and forth, a little side, or actually stepping 1, 2, stop, 1, 2, stop. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Um, and I find that if I'm having fun, there is God to be a part of the horse that's saying, "Huh, what are you up to? This is weird. What do you want to do here? Why are we doing this? This is kind of fun." Maybe they think that, or maybe I just think they think that. I don't know. Either way, it was effective. It worked. When we were done, I was able to reach for him. He would reach back because he was entrained. And it's fascinating stuff. Let's see. Oh, Alice is here. Alice, we were just working. Well, not just. God, how long have I been in this? I don't even know. We're working on a project that involves your stuff. But look here. I've got some pictures that are going inside of some frames. Let's see. Like that. Alice is here, I hope. So, yeah. These frames are going to go with your creations, your animal ornaments, and on a tree for a competition we're trying to, well, I don't know about hopefully win, but it's a tree decorating competition at a local riding place. And so we're matching up. There's 5 pictures in here. There's Luke and Lena. See that one? That might have been the one you did your painting off of, by the way. Luke, Gracie, right? And Roni. So they all get handmade frames out of wood, mahogany door skin essentially. And we've got all of your ornaments here to match them up on the tree. So we're hoping to make sort of an animal based ornament tree to win this competition. So thank you for making those. We're finally putting them to very good use. Show them to, well, everybody local. They're going to be seen by thousands of people. A lot of people go to this thing. So it's nice to see you, Alice. Thanks for dropping in. Anyways, all right. Heather says, agreed. I wish I knew better. When I had my mirror, I was taught that you have to teach your horse who's boss. It's beautiful to know that a rough, tough attitude is not necessary overall. A firm attitude sometimes is necessary, and I refer to it not necessarily being a boss, but being a leader. Being a leader can mean you're the boss, but being a leader can also be a good follower in some cases. So, Sue says, do you find you have more requests for just trimmings? No. Definitely more requests for working with horses. Um, but consistent overall long-term clients come from trimmings because usually I work myself out of work. I teach myself out of work. So people learn enough and they go, I got it. It's good. Thanks. And then I don't have any work. So I'm always working myself out of work. Kathy says, I was in my teens when we had horses. Today I would never want to use a bit, worry more about how the horse is feeling. Well, that's good. I don't use a bit just because I don't feel like I need to. Everybody who's ever said that I need to use a bit, um, uh, I've never been able to justify the reasoning. Like, what do I need it for? Well, you need to be able to stop your horse. Okay, how about this? I can stop my horse. It's just nothing really kind of made any sense. So, DD. I was wondering if you could share a few pics and stories of your first horse whom you mentioned a while back. Um, okay, and then there's no other comments. Alice says, yes, I made them. I missed the first of this stream. So yeah, the beginning of this stream was really just making the frames and chitty chatting about little things here and there. We're just getting into a few Q&As at the moment, and I think I'm going to call it a night pretty soon. Few pictures and stories of the first horse. Okay, let me. I don't have any pictures on me, but the first horse I got was quite a while back. I guess 9, about 9 years, maybe more, 10 years ago. She was a thoroughbred, so um, she was about 18 or so, and I didn't really know much about horses at the time. I knew some things here and there, but I definitely didn't know probably even 100th of what I know now. And I'd actually attribute a lot of my study or desire to study um, to this horse and uh, to the results um, of what happened, I guess you could say. Because I swore forever and ever, I would never, ever, ever let something like that happen again. Um, and of course, at the time, it's all subjective at the time to what I know now, which is very, very different from what I thought or knew before. But to start off, she was a lovely 18-year-old thoroughbred who had done some racing. It was hard to find her history because it was quite a while back. 16 years ago, she might have raced. So records were hard to find. Didn't find much. Um, and her tattoo was super hard to figure out because they put them under the lip and it was mostly uh, very hard to see. So I don't even know if we got it right. I don't think we really found out properly. Um, she came with, I've showed pictures of her feet on Instagram. Um, let's see. Let's see. Hmm. When I did a, hoof clinic a while back, I used one of her hooves as an example of what you want to. Um, I have so many pictures in here, it's crazy. Of what you want to look out for to not have in your own horse. Okay, we're getting close. There we go. And yeah. Okay, so this was the front of her hoof. I'll hold that still so everybody can see it, hopefully. And that was, I don't know how long it was in, 4 months or so from getting her. And to me, I knew there was something wrong. I knew that it wasn't right. And so I had asked the farrier, I said, what's with this? Why is there this massive gap in there? And she's like, oh, it's normal. And I said, what? And the problem was over time she was getting worse. She was tripping more. She didn't want to too much. She was just getting worse and worse. And knowing what I know now, I mean, yeah, it is bad. I did get X-rays. I did show X-rays. I'll do a proper story. But nevertheless, her feet were just completely wrecked, really, really bad. And it would have been, even to this day, knowing what I know now, it would have been a challenge to bring her back from that. She likely would always, she'd be perpetually in rehab for sure. High end rehab, not even basic rehab, but constant care rehab. So, would there be a good quality of life? Maybe, depending on how I might handle it. Um, she would, there would be a very good chance she would be in glue-ons for a long time. Um, yeah, it would have been hard. Um, so she was a nice horse. She did well for a while, but she was on her way down. And then she got in she didn't get in a fight, but she got wrecked by another horse, which caused some other problems, which ended up just making her quality of life very, very poor. And I had to make a decision. So it's a it's not a good story in any way, shape, or form, but it definitely kickstarted where I've come to this day to understand and never tolerate any of that kind of low quality work, um, and to have a very, very good understanding, which is why, I mean, I have so many of these bones and everything in here to understand, you know, how does the hoof work? All these things, these weird things that people, why do you have those things in here? And they show up and kind of look around and like, what's with the hooves? Um, I mean, her hoof was worse than this thing. Let's put it that way. And it may seem a little odd, I suppose, but when she was put down, I asked to have uh, her front legs removed, and or at least from the cannon bone down. And they're in my freezer to this day. I haven't had the ability to go do anything about it, but I I knew that for the day that I wanted to really understand how and why was going to be the day that I then take them out. So I still feel like I want to know more. I want to make sure I have even a better understanding than I have now because there's no rush for me to know exactly. I know mostly what happened, but there's more and more information coming out um, at a rapid rate if you're looking for it. And so as I continue to accumulate information and understand how the inside of the hoof works, that's when I'll take them out, take them apart, and understand a bit more, and probably use it as a big case study. So, yeah, let's just say that because of her, a lot of horses have been helped. She has been the Kickstarter to recover horses from poor conditions, um, and has pushed me to become something I probably wouldn't have never. I don't know if I ever would have been without that. I think it's a good thing. Try to see the positive from a negative. So Brenda says horsey check time. You know how dark it is out there? I'm not going out there now. I mean, you won't be able to see anything, even with the flashlight. I've only got my phone. It doesn't have very good low light. Low 50s in Southwest Florida. That's cold. Would it be possible to make a video doing a tango with a horse? Yes, Jane, I can definitely do that. I have done, oh God, I've got to have done some stuff somewhere. Ground. I don't know. I'll probably do something fresh. Yeah. It's fun. Kathy says, off the wall question. Do you ever hear the horses at night, or has anything frightened them that alerted you? Yeah, absolutely. Um, I sleep reasonably lightly, and I'll hear thump, 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 thump. Horses are noisy. When I hear it, I get up. I've got a flashlight, a very bright flashlight that I shine out, and I check where everybody is. I can see most of the way down the property from up high there. Um, and if anything's out of sort or anybody's looking at anything, I'll look at where they might be looking. If I feel like I need to get up and go out, then I just get up and go out. I've got a jacket and shoes right by the door ready to go at all times, and go check them out. Most of the time, there's nothing. And most of the time, they're kind of looking. Maybe a bear had gone by or, or something. One of the horses got spooked, and they all spook at the same time, and then they all start wandering back to their food. If they all start wandering back to their food, I don't go anywhere. I just stay in the house. It's good. But if they don't, then I do something. Dee Dee says, "I'm sorry." Thank you. It was a tough time. It was a tough time. It's a tough story. I don't know if I'd get into it. She was a great horse. Um, she used to kick Luke around a little bit, if anybody's wondering. Um, he was young when he was 2 or 3 when I got him, and she was 18, 19, something like that. So he definitely wasn't. He was littler than he is now, obviously, and yeah, he used to get kicked around the paddock kind of idea. She told him where to go. It was good. Hmm. Brenda says, "Can you make them twirl in the middle of frame?" I've been thinking about doing something along those lines. So, anyways, um, all right. Um, so we'll see what I want to do with this tango thing, the dancing thing. I've got some ideas. I've worked with Luke quite a bit on getting him to move really precisely with some stuff. It's effective. So I will probably evolve that a little bit along just to play with it. And if I get something fun or interesting, maybe I'll just video the whole process and just try to put a story together. Again, it's time and actually the other problem I'm having is hard drive space. I'm out of hard drive space. So I've actually had to figure out how to get rid of some stuff that I don't want to get rid of, maybe, or some stuff that I don't need, and I try. But within my budget of things, I put hard drives, and there's a couple that are on sale right now. So I'm gonna get that figured out, and then I'll have less to worry about. But it should increase my hard drive space quite a bit, and then I don't have to think about it. But then I just sort of take as much video as I want. And some of my better videos have actually come from videoing the whole process and then just taking out chunks of it and say like, well, this is how you do it, or something like that. Um, or even reviewing it just on my own and going, oh yeah, okay, I know how to recreate this problem, or I know how to recreate this thing that I can make it look like it's natural, and then here's how you fix it, kind of idea. So yeah, twirl. Can I make the horse twirl? I should be able to. I should be able to make them kind of go around, sort of thing. Yeah, it'll be a whole show. There's lots of people that actually do amazing tricks with horses, and I always look and I think, wow, that's impressive. Um, so, but it's not practical. There's no practical usage for some of the tricks that are done. It's just for show. They're just a trained trick horse kind of idea, which is fun, and it's interesting to kind of work through the process of doing that. Um, but I really want things to carry over to when I get in the saddle as well, if that makes any sense. So it has the effect of being efficient for future stuff. So anyhow, yes, I will do a video at some point about that horse. Um, Jen loved her a lot. Jen, we got some great pictures of her riding. Um, and what else could I say? Her time was coming no matter what, I guess you could say. I did try. I did try to do what I could do, but it did not have the facilities. And I would say I probably did not have the education or experience at that time, but I gave it my best. Probably the best, better than she ever would have got from anybody that I had access to at the time. Um, uh, Especially the farrier that I was using at the time, which as soon as she gave me the answer of, well, that's the way it is, I said, remove the shoes and you're fired. I wouldn't recommend that person at the time. I don't know what she's doing now, but hopefully she's come to the conclusion that something like that is not just the way it is. This is happening because of this, and this is what we need to do about it. But she wasn't. So, um, medically fascinating. Medically fascinating. Personally, it is hard. It's rough. Nobody likes having a horse that's having a hard time, or an animal at all that's having a hard time. Dogs, cats, whatever. It's a hard thing to go through. And you think, well, what can I do? How am I going to fix this, or not fix it? And those are topics that should be talked about. I've seen a few videos out there that where people talk about, what does it mean to try to have to let go of your horse? They're big animals. It's different. You can let go of a cat or a dog. It's again totally different experience. Letting go of a horse, man, it is weird. It is hard. And anybody that's experienced it would be able to say the same thing. It's going to be different. It's different than the cat. I had two cats, brought back from Japan. They're both obviously dead by now. Um, and then one day Zeus will go, and that'll be another hard day. And you just kind of think, well, each one of these has a special place in your world, in your heart, or your mind, or whatever. And horses have a different space as well. Um, so, anyways, moving on. Thanks, Kathy. Thank you for the birthday wishes again. Heather's out. I'm out too. I'm gonna say goodnight to everybody. Place one of those music thingamajigs on the back of the frame. That'd be cool. Yeah, I might do that, Alice. I like the picture of Gracie kicking her heels up. Yeah, she's got a lot of good pictures. Ida's going to bed. I am too. I mentioned above that you were talking about horses being shy as perhaps them being vulnerable. Yes, if I didn't communicate that, that is exactly sort of the point, that they feel vulnerable. They feel like they have to sort of be like the ostrich with the head in the sand, where they just kind of look away and they think, "There's nobody here. There's nobody here." you know. and really it seems that they're just trying to pretend that there's nobody there so they can be vulnerable as if they were on their own. But we don't really know. That is really anthropomorphizing the situation. So it's hard to say. But that's what it appears. That's a subjective observation. So, anyways, I too am going to say goodnight. It's 11 o'clock here. I can't believe I talked this long. I'm going to continue with this project tomorrow. Should finish it up. I will definitely catch up with you guys on what's going on with this tomorrow, next day for sure. Um, and the weather's supposed to improve, so it's easier to do video when the weather improves. So that's that. Thanks everybody for popping in and saying hi and asking a few questions here and there, being part of this little project and finding what it's about. See you guys again tomorrow. So have a good night or good morning or afternoon or evening or wherever you are on the planet. I'm gonna finish up my coffee. Probably go to bed soon, I guess. So, anyways, good night, everybody. I'm gonna shut the camera off and till tomorrow.